When did I learn when I first was autistic? Well, I was diagnosed when I was 3 years old. The doctors told my mom that I couldn't write, couldn't talk, couldn't go to school, and I think at that time my mom was shocked. I think, not entirely sure how her reaction was, but just by looking at her face, she was shocked, and there was a little bit of fear. But the thing about my mother is, she's gonna find a way to make something happen. She'll find a way, and that's what I love about my mother. Because her goal was to prove the doctors wrong, and she did that. And so she got me writing. It was hard to do. I was scribbling, and I couldn't form words by the age of 4 years old. So I had to do a little bit of speech therapy, and she was pushing me to kind of be a better human being, but a better human being with autism. So I think when you're diagnosed at that, I would look for those resources to kind of help you, like I said to the parents, like when your kid is diagnosed early, you're actually in a good place. You catch it early, that's good. You can start developing different ways to teach your child, not general ed, but special ed ways to help your child become the functioning human being today. So how does autism shape my identity? At first, because I was a kid, I spoke to my mother. I told her, "Mom, I feel stupid." But my mom says, "No, you're not. No, you were not. You are the smartest kid I have ever known. And ever since you were born, Dwayne, you have changed me into a good person that I am today." And I think when she told me, "You have superpowers, you don't have a disability, you have a gift." At first I didn't take it to heart, but as I grew up, and then all of a sudden I understand math and I understood music, and started getting these music in my head and started creating music out of just out of knowledge and creation, imagination. My mom was amazed. I think growing up all the way to the end of college, when I graduated with my bachelor's degree, in that moment she smiled. But I was looking back when I was diagnosed, she was worried. I don't think she was sad, but she was just worried. When I graduated, I saw the face of joy and relief. And then when I got married to my beautiful wife, she was crying tears of joy. My dad, my dad's on the other side. My mom's on the nurturing, helping me, become the functioning human being. My dad was on the whole, let's make you a man. Let's make you a man with autism, but still be that responsible man that you're supposed to be too. And I think that's where I kind of get it from. I guess I get the math and technical part from my dad. But I get the whole, he taught me how to be a little bit more common sense, going with your gut. If something ain't feel right, walk away from it. He's the type of guy and he likes results. He don't like excuses. I'm the kind of guy who don't like excuses. I like results. I like to get things done. Okay? And that's something, thank you, Dad, for teaching me how to do. When we spend time together, we do all this Star Wars, video games, and sometimes we just talk about work, man stuff. He's my dad, but there are days he's like my big brother. So, how does autism affect my worldview? This is the question that that I'm still trying to figure that out. Because people are not going to see the way you're going to see me. People are not going to see the way I see it. People are not going to see the way I see it. Okay? When I was learning music and I was measuring my numbers and I was doing like, I don't know, I was just writing my rhythms out on the music sheet. There was this one person next to me giving me that look. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, writing out my rhythms. And he's like, all right, do you, buddy. And then there was this one conductor. He's like, all right, play your part, Dwayne. Played my part. He was like, okay, I think I need to do that. That's the thing, though. Everybody thinks that their way is the only way. But sometimes there are other ways too. And that's okay. If you want to do it your way, go ahead. Do it your way. Let me do it my way. That's how I get things done. So I think that's how I view the world. If people are willing to see the way I see it, you know, the people that I care about, they always see the way I see it sometimes when we have, you know, some certain conversations. But the people outside of my family, if they choose to, if they don't see the way I see it, cool. If they do, cool. Autism is like a language, not a disability. It's another language in mind. Common misconceptions that common people misunderstood with autism. And the thing about it is, go and do your research, people. Just because we're autistic does not mean you're mean people. We're not. Sometimes we can't interpret emotions that well. Luckily for me, I can, because I went through classes where it taught me facial expressions, and I was able to pick up on it real quick. So I can, let's say I say the wrong thing, but then I correct myself, step back, apologize if I have to, and we're good. You know, sometimes they kind of view us as, he don't know what he's talking about. Okay, I think people just need to really do their research and try to understand the mind language of autism, so that way there are no misconceptions. But nobody's perfect. That's their choice. So I chose to understand the mind language of a woman because I care about my wife. You know what I'm saying? That's the same way how people without autism need to understand the mind language with people with autism.
So you wish people gave you more grace when it comes to understanding them or interpreting them?
I wish people would definitely give me, well, here's the thing though, this is where it gets tricky here. Grace and tough love, it depends on the person with autism. Me, I get better through tough love. Sometimes with grace too. But I know I can push harder. I know I can be better. Just because I'm autistic does not mean that I need accommodations. Now, I probably did that in school, but in life, there are times there's the internet. People help me with, I learn stuff through the internet. I learn stuff through reading books now. I'm older now. But I think for people who have autism when they're young, I feel like they could be a little bit more graceful, because it is hard when you're younger. Or gracious. And I think it would help them kind of not fit in, but it will help them stand out instead of hiding. Does that make sense? And that would definitely propel them to kind of soar forward growing up. Because it's hard. It's hard as a kid. So.
Who gave you tough love?
Oh.
Who gives you more tough love in your life?
Who gives me more tough love in my life when it came to autism? Not just my mother, my daddy. Both parents gave me tough love. I would expect my mom to be a little more gracious, but nah. That's what I love about my mother. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're supposed to be graceful, giving me tough love. That's dad's job. No. They both gave me tough love. And that's so good about having two parents like that. Yes, they can be gracious too. They can be gracious too. But if they want me to kind of be more successful and, plan my life out a little bit better, yeah, they're going to give me the tough love. Because they're honest about it. And that's what I appreciate about it, is the honesty from them. I need a woman with tough love, and that's what I
don't give you tough love.
Sometimes you do. But I appreciate it though. Because it made me better. It made me a better person. So they really gave it their all for me. So appreciate y'all both, seriously. So what inspired me to start writing? The reason why I wanted to do this is because I had people. I was working at the other job, and there was an associate whose son was autistic, but this person didn't really know how to do it. Didn't know how to kind of get him into the right direction, because I feel like he was diagnosed a little bit late. Probably around 10, 12 years old, which is a little late. And I do have a family member whose son is autistic as well, but I think was also late in the game. So I just kind of wanted to kind of really help them, kind of guide them on where they need to be on it, as well as just helping them understand what you're supposed to do and not be so black and white, and to help you find that gray area so you can make the best judgment possible. And I want to kind of be that leader, because I wanted to kind of share that same experience of guiding someone the way my parents have guided me. So it makes me feel very good to just serve. Serve with honor for the people with autism.
Face to side.